So we've migrated out into the public scope because this is probably unbelievably both detrimental and highly impactful to society. And so those who just came from the VIP scope, they know what we're talking about. But I am actually abstracting this out to a general conversation. And so you know what happened. But basically, whenever all of us as humans see something which we know with all of our being is not true about ourselves, it causes a sensation, I guess, of feeling that you're not in reality. And that's probably one of the reasons that we as humans hold on to our views so much. I dropped back down to 299 followers, by the way. So we made 300 temporarily. But there's always a little bounce back each day. Like, you go 299, 300, like it sort of oscillates a bit. There's an oscillation actually, which is quite interesting, which I've learned to map. So imagine, for example, you know that you're black, and then you see an article about you that says you are white. It causes such a rip and tear in the fabric of your understanding of the world that at the moment your breathing goes up, your heart rate goes up, you honestly think that you're in a nightmare, and you feel so detached from the world that you think you're in a dream state. So I'm talking to you right now and my hands are tingling and I feel like I'm going to wake up and all of this is a joke. And this is what it has been for 5 years, constantly. And it's like, I will never wake up. My heart races. It brings back, the suicidal nature. It also propels one to become even more poetic and to share even more beauty as much as they can with, well, it's good and bad. It's good that, we can share this together on Periscope, and it helps, I guess, other people identify with what happens to them in the same way. And it might be at a different level because normally, as you guys know, anything that happens to me tends to happen to everyone else, but at a much more extreme scale. And so most people can identify with it in that way, I guess, at an abstract nature. And to see a massive institution of the world write something about you that is the exact opposite of who you are, well, I think in Australia it's basically illegal. So we might give it a go, maybe, if it ever becomes legal. I'd have to drive a few hours. I think there's one place where it is legal, but I don't know. Anyway, so it is. I'm not going to stay too long, but I had to share that with you. It's like the floor being ripped away from you, but then when you fall, you hit another floor, and that's also being ripped away from you. So it's a constant fall. So the reason I say that is because you actually lose your faith in floors themselves. So if you only had one floor ripped away, when there's another floor, you can stand up. But when they keep getting ripped away, you learn not to trust floors at all. And you just think that every floor is an illusion and none of them are real and you're always going to fall through floors. So you don't know how to orientate yourself in the world. You don't understand how in the hell can everyone who knows you know that you are the absolute reverse of dishonesty. You can't even tolerate if someone says good and they're not good. Right? At that level of extreme sense of justice and real and facts. And you knew they misunderstood her, yeah. And yet you have people with money and power who perhaps don't drill down to look at things at their proper level. And so from the distance, what you call prima facie, they make up their own decisions and then have all their power and weight and run with it, destroying countless lives in the process. And I don't even know where to punch, where to fight, but I just stand there in the breeze. The breeze is blowing ice upon me from every single different direction, and it does not matter which way I run, I face the wind. It's like the wind is all deliberately designed to come towards me at the center. I can finally take small crowds. Interesting. You will get hit with the ball. You stand in your truth. That's the thing. You can only stand when the wind comes from every direction. You stand and you scream. And what I do is, I'm very lucky that I have Periscope, where I can scream to you while I am here simultaneously being frozen by the Arctic winds from every direction. And sometimes you have to go with what you know. You have to. What can you do? And honestly, without being able to share that with you guys, I don't know what I would have done. Always a pleasure, Hooligan. The truth is all you know. That's exactly right. That's what people don't understand about autism. But then what they do is they take other things out of context that I've done. So it's very easy to do that. and then when you have power, you run with it. So, you know, I could easily say, and I've done this before. So when I only had a few followers, I did this as a joke, right? What I did was I picked one of my followers, right? And I haven't seen him in a week, but he was like my #1 follower. So I'm a bit worried about him, actually. I might direct message him. If anyone can direct message National 90 to see if he's okay. He's on Twitter under Audi R8. If anyone wants to find him, I'm a bit worried about him. Anyway, so I said to everyone at the time, I only had like 5 or 6 followers, and I said to them, National 90 could easily be a spy for the government here to watch me, right? Now it was so obviously I didn't think that at all, right? Like it was such the dumbest thing. But the fact of saying it made him doubt himself. So he had to message me afterwards and go, I promise you I'm not from the government. So it shows you how easy it is to mess with people. And if you are in the government, or you are a politician, or you are someone in the police, or you are someone in power, and a lot of sociopaths deliberately seek power, which I've learned, so that they can get away with what they want to get away with. And they don't do it to hurt other people. They do it to get what they want. And it just happens to hurt other people. They just don't care. So the hell that has been, I guess, engulfing my reality and my psychology, my spirit, my being, my soul, is this hell that has been placed upon me, perhaps unintentionally, but maybe he even feels it's deserved, this particular person. But as I fight and as I stand and as I have some sort of faith somewhere that maybe the truth will come out, as they say in Lebanese, I said, "Bas bidub al-thalj bibayn al-wahl," which is when the ice melts, the mud appears, or the dirt appears when the ice melts. So I can only stand here in the freezing cold until the ice melts and pray that I don't die in the meantime. And Periscope is a slight flame that I can use to keep me maybe from suffering hypothermia until the point that the ice can melt. And when the mud appears, I am going to blast it across the world. I don't care, for the next 40 years. I want to embarrass and humiliate the people that have made up lies and have said the disgusting things and refuse to ever admit their mistakes. I want to expose them for every single thing they've ever done. And I cannot wait. And that day of justice and vengeance is the day that I'm waiting for. I'm telling you, we are going to celebrate. And I don't know if it'll come. The truth will come. I hope so. Linda Sarsur. Linda Cockroach. Yeah, her name means cockroach. It's so funny. Like I thought it was a joke from the beginning. Justice will be sweet. Yeah. Well, man, I don't know. I tell you, like, it's not a movie. In a movie, you know that the guy's probably going to win, the guy or girl, the hero, right? But in real life, you don't know. It's been 5 years. No movie lasts for 5 years, right? So how do we know if this will ever end? Anyway, that's it. So I just wanted to share that with you guys. I have to study. What do you think about the G20? It's the same thing. Nothing there. Freezing. Sorry. About the G20, nothing that happened in the G20 surprised me because it happened. It's happened since I was a kid. Thank you very much. I guess. And like Faulty Towers. How did Faulty Towers end again? I've completely forgotten how Faulty Towers ended. I might go look that up, actually. I'm going to go look that up. So, for example, it makes me angry that they are psychologically... I'm allowing myself to be psychologically so affected by seeing my name next to an adjective that horrifies me. Thank you. And you know what? You guys and what's happening to me motivates me to keep doing that, because I am sure that many other autists are going through this, maybe to a lower degree, to give up your name. Yeah, see, I've been offered stuff like that. I've had people offer me, to get out of the country. I've had people offer me changing the names. All that. I said, no. My conscience is more important than anything anyone can do to me. I have to live with myself. Myself does not depart from me until death. And until then, I have to stand with what I know is true. And I can never, ever, ever, ever deviate from that. And I've been offered even from the government, like, as I've said before, just like, your Messiah was tempted in the desert by little freedom to live with. Yeah. Well, yeah, that would be nice. You know what's funny about that? ISIS think like that, by the way. So it can also be bad. But I was going to say something really important just then. Damn it. Yeah, it's gone. It was something really important. Yeah, it's gone. Doesn't matter. If I say it again, I'll remember. Um, Biohazard is back. Uh, yeah, no, it's gone. Humor. Um, yeah, sorry. That's what I was going to say. Can't live with myself. I was offered 5 years ago, right, something by the government. I don't want to say. Obviously, I'm even saying the government is too much. Right? I shouldn't say that, but I was offered by them, hey, just like your Messiah was tempted in the desert, just give up and just acknowledge what we say you did. And, we will reduce all these things. And honestly, what they offered me was better than what I am in now, because by now I could have walked off. I could have walked away and be free. And I said, go F yourselves, go to hell, go to the depths of what is underpinning hell. Absolutely. I said, I have to live with myself, right? Whatever they were offering me, they walk away, they dust their hands and say, we did our job. I have to live with myself the rest of my life. I can never, ever. And my lawyers were telling me before in the past, don't worry, the court doesn't care really what you think. Just tell them what they want and you'll get a lesser thing. I said, I don't care. I know that what I'm looking at now is a million times harder, right? Because now I am guilty until proven innocent, because we don't live in a democracy. I have had almost all my freedoms stolen, right? I cannot do anything. I cannot go anywhere. I'm forced to stay in certain places, all these things, right? And like I said, none of that matters, in the sense that that is the only choice I have, because I will never, ever depart from my conscience. And I don't know what it would take. Maybe if they tortured me physically to a certain point, I may do that. But I know that I would be broken. I know that if I chose to walk away from this hill, I would be broken, because I cannot live with saying that I did something I did not do. I cannot live with that. I don't know how I would survive. I don't know. I think that is the one thing that I live for knowing who I am, and what I say is what I say. And what I don't say is what I don't say. This is how it is. 6 minutes is 6 minutes. It's not 7 minutes. I cannot say that I meant 7 when I said 6. I cannot do that. Honestly, my soul would die. And at that point, I don't know what I would become. Whether I would become insane, whether I would kill myself, I'm not sure. I cannot move from that. And that is the hill on which I have no choice but to die. And it looks like I'm fighting to the death. Next day I would tell the truth again, maybe. You look at Galileo, who was tortured by the Catholic Church. And the thing is, I think of all those people. I think of my generations in the past. I think of my uncles who were tortured by the Syrians for being Christian spies working with Israel. I think of my auntie and her children that were murdered. I think of my grandfather that was kidnapped by Islamic extremists and then got away and cut one of their heads off. And I think of all these stories, and I think, how can I give in when all my family and so many other families went through living hell? What right do I have to give up things just to have temporary pleasure in a declining society? What value would I have as an individual? Not think 100 thoughts at once. That actually sounds a good idea. Well, I have to find out what's legal, because you will endure, press on, brother. Man, thank you. And you guys are the reason, right? Because here's the thing. You guys basically have no reason to be here. There's a billion periscopes out. Absolutely. I can't talk to you about freedom if I am not looking for freedom. And freedom comes at a price. That price is responsibility. The responsibility is sometimes greater than the freedom that you get, because the freedom is not just for you, but it is for everyone around you. And so sometimes you have to shoulder more responsibility than others. And that is what's happening here in this situation. Yeah. Good morning, Q. Always a pleasure. Dale Carnegie, absolutely. Yeah, I do read a lot of Dale Carnegie. I tell you where I find my hope. I find my hope in that I know the consequence. The consequence is that people can keep making up shit about me, and I can suffer the consequences for something I did not do, right? And really the only person that I wish should have gone through that is Jesus, right? And I believe in the metaphorical Jesus, not the physical Jesus. But we can disagree on that. That's not important. The point is that here is an idea of someone who suffered for something they didn't do and paid the ultimate price for it. And so me compared to that is nothing, but I'm still likely going to pay a price as far as I can see, unless anything changes. And I still am. I'm already paying a price for something I did not do or did not think. Yeah. And the thing is, I have to rather pay that, right, than admit to something I did not do. I just cannot do it, right? Yeah, that's true as well. Absolutely. And with the autist, our feelings are heightened, right? And we don't understand them, but we sense them. You've already been paying for 5 years. Exactly right. And that 5 years has destroyed that other person. The person from 5 years ago is not me today. I have died and been reborn. And this is now the process of resurrection, right? The metaphorical Jesus took 3 days. In my case, it's taking years. Parenting the future by a seeker of truth. Absolutely. And I don't feel like I have a choice. I have had no choice but to stick with it. And every day I get temptations. Just accept. Come on, you didn't do that. Really, let's just say that, maybe you didn't mean to lie, but you might have subconsciously. No, go fuck yourself to the end of the universe. Never, ever in my mind did I think anything but to help other people. Why did I sleep on the floor of my office when the children of my clients were sleeping in my houses? And then people want to accuse me of having multiple houses. How hilarious is that? I didn't even care about that stuff. Han Solo, I never was into Star Wars, so I'll take your judgment for that. And so the thing is, the end is my beginning, T.S. Eliot, very true. 10 days there for a crime that another lied about. Interesting stuff. And what's interesting is that there will be people that will never believe it, but I don't care. I honestly, this is the choice I have now. My nightmare growing up was for people to think of me things that I did not think or do. And my psychiatrist says the reason I thought that is because as a kid, I was misunderstood on almost every level from the age of probably 2 onwards. And even by my parents before I was 2, right? After years of rejection. And to have the opposite is the tragedy. That's why the book is called The Tragedy of the Retarded Genius, because it ends with the most destructive accusation that you could ever have, right? In this modern society. Apart from the death penalty, what I'm getting is the most destructive, the beautiful tragedy. That's right. And that destruction, exactly. Because, but the thing is, what it has done is that it has given me the last 5 years of purification by fire to know who I am. And that is a blessing, which I say to anyone who's been accused of something they did not think or say or do or speak. That is a blessing which comes from it. That purification by fire makes you even more extreme in who you are. It makes you more incorruptible, right? Not less corruptible, more incorruptible. It makes you more precious than gold, than platinum, because you now know, that you are so right in who you are that you will withstand the depths of hell. And you walk through the shadow of the valley of death and you fear no evil, for my conscience and my truth in my heart is with me. And I did not know it was with me. I thought it was, but now I know. And with each day that I get more and more shit in magazines and newspapers said about me, the more I walk through that hailstorm and that fire, the stronger I come out of it. Absolutely. And it doesn't matter. Look, in my head, I'm going to pretend that this will never go away. If I reach an old age, it's still never going to go away. And that power causes me to keep talking to you guys. Absolutely. I fight until I can no longer fight. I think so, Demetrios. Absolutely. What magazines? If you search my name, you will see hundreds of articles everywhere about me. You will see good and bad. And everyone who knows me knows me. When they see the articles, it's completely the opposite of who I am. And you know that. I mean, that's the other thing. That's what I wanted to say. You guys have no reason to know me. No reason at all. You're not related to me. You're not paid by me for anything. There are millions of Periscopes around the world. I'm some autistic bloke from the other side of the world who basically could mean nothing to you. And yet we are bound together, right? What is it that bounds us together, right? And it is what we recognize in other people that we possess ourselves. That is the bind. It's like the quantum particles that have entanglement. and they seemingly have no connection, and yet they mirror each other from the other sides of the universe instantaneously, faster than the speed of light. And that's sort of like what we have, even though we're slower than the speed of light. I get the contradiction, right? And that gives me fuel, the antiparticle. That gives me fuel, because I think to myself, I know myself, but having other people recognize that just reaffirms what I know about myself. And on top of that, you guys don't even agree with me politically, religiously, culturally. Like, it's amazing. Like, what is it that we have in common? We have this one thing, and this thing is more powerful than everything else combined. And honestly, I get up from this scope, and I'm going to go down to Gapversity now and study. And that's the hardest part. The hardest part is that it psychologically damages me so much that I lose my energy to study. And that's why I had a high distinction average in my degree, right? Until last year. Last year, I actually stuffed up my subject so bad, because that's when I got charged and I couldn't think straight. And so I ended up dropping down to a distinction average. And that really upset me, because I sort of feel like, damn them. If it wasn't for them, I could have got my HD average. Breath is what we have in common. We have something that lives within us, my friends. Anyway, I got to go. Thank you so much to Pastora, who wants to get a second book. Lord bless you and keep you. And I'm so excited, man. I can't wait. Thank you. If anyone wants to direct message me on Facebook or Twitter, or even tweet me ideas that they want me to speak about on the autistic speech, what I'm going to do, I'm actually going to read to the GoFundMe people my suicide. I'm going to go down and read that now. And I want you to let me know if you can stay focused on us. Yeah, she is. You were just writing you. I love your messages, man. I get messages every day. And you notice, like, to many of you are here. I thank you, brother Scott. That means a lot, because Scott never speaks. So these things are absolutely. I hang in there. I hang on the edge of that cliff. And sometimes you guys hold my hands for me so that I can regain strength and then hang on myself again. Yeah, so when I don't reply, like, a lot of you write beautiful, beautiful, beautiful things, and I can't reply, so I just send you hearts. But believe me, in that heart, I mean so many things, but I just can't do it because there's so many now. What you did in the letter. Love you, dear. All right, I'm going to go down to my GoFundMe guests, and I am going to read to you the suicide. And if you think that that's good enough to read at my speech, then I will do it. All right. Lovely to see all you guys. Absolute pleasure. Some of you said that we're going to reach 3,000 followers. I think we will, actually. I actually think we will. We're going to get there. The amount of people that we're going to change, how many autistic people around the world are going to tune in, and it's going to be an amazing movement, man. I reckon that once we build up the autistic people, we're going to develop an army of the autist that is going to be so powerful, it will re-guide the world. It'll push us morally. They will carry civilization. They were the knights. They were the judges. They were the honest people in the past that shaped and led us. And I want to bring that back. All of us together are going to bring that back. They don't even know. We're going to weaponize them. We're going to weaponize autism, man, to the point where we are going to support this world and what it needs. And honestly, I honestly think that's one pillar that the West is going to need to revive itself. And that's probably why we are here. Right? We recognize these things that are deeper than all of us. Yeah, it's deeper than all of us, right? This something that I'm recognizing, that you're recognizing, it is deeper than us. It'll live before us and after us. And it lives outside us. And in a way, it makes us immortal in a way. That we are recognizing something that will exist beyond us. All right, guys. Talk to you soon. I'll talk to my GoFundMe guest pretty soon. Looking forward to your feedback. I'll see you in a few minutes.